So the amazing scenario is that with the advancement of technology, with the ever-changing times, some of you are looking at the program now online, but the vast majority watching on that tube called the television. Now, World Television Day is on the 21st of November. It's proclaimed by the United Nations. And to break down some details, give us his perspective coming out of his office. And I can safely say he's been one of the more accessible, very much proactive and always readily available ministers. The Minister of Communication, Symon de Nobriga, joins me on the Zoom line. It's a pity, Symon. I thought you was going to be here with me live on set, but I know I could only imagine the pace. But nonetheless, you're here to discuss World Television Day. Good morning and compliments of the season.
Morning, JW. Thanks for having me on. I want to tell you I would have liked to be there too. I'm happy I'm not there because if I had to sit down with this jacket and shirt and you next to me with that shirt, I would have felt hard done by.
No, don't worry, man. We could always let it have shirts. We have shirts. We have full wardrobes, you know. But it's all good. It's all good. But the important thing is, again, you know, this is again what I would have mentioned: the fact that the technology now is able for us to have this conversation. Yeah. You're not even here in studio, and we've been doing this for quite a while, and this will be a major feature, I'm sure, of television. I mean, it's been done for years, but this will definitely be a mainstay in terms of this medium. And the beautiful thing about World Television Day, it's not so much celebrating the tool itself, the actual TV, it's the whole philosophy behind TV and what it represents.
Correct. I mean, I suppose if we were to celebrate the tool, it would, at some point, you know, the tool has evolved in so many ways since I suppose the 1960s, the 1950s, all the way to now. I mean, you and I would have come from an era of black and white. Maybe not you, black and white.
Yeah, black and white. The big back black and white RCA. I remember the brand.
Correct. Zenith. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you're talking about televisions that were, in some cases, 3-4 feet deep, and now you have televisions that are the width of a pen. But you are correct. It is not necessarily the physical television itself, but the way in which television has impacted us as people and wider society. You know, the way that it has influenced our thinking, influenced our decision making, and when at a personal level, it obviously impacts at a national, regional, and international level. I mean, I sit in my house now and I watching the midterm elections in the US and all the implications that has. Television has brought this world closer together.
Yeah. I want to find out from you, Minister, when we look at, again, the philosophy of TV on the local side of things, what's the advancement been like from your standpoint, through your lens? Obviously, there is still that major, I would say, content that's foreign, but we're seeing more and more that every station across the spectrum here in Trinidad and Tobago is injecting a little more. Obviously, we love to see way more, but we're getting, you know, local morning TV shows. We're getting afternoon shows. Things are happening on that particular side. What's your take on the advancement of television in Trinidad and Tobago?
That's an interesting thing, you know, Jason. It is, I suppose, you know, there's an old adage, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I remember coming again, and I suppose I can only look at it from a personal perspective and give that in this instance, where everything that I saw on television, of course, these were the days when there was only one television station. We now have 15 local television stations. So that by itself shows an evolution. That by itself shows development and change and advancement in the industry. But everything that we saw was local. You know, everything that we saw was locally hosted, locally developed, locally produced with local talent and with a local flavor. I think that as we went along, we would have seen the introduction of new players into the industry itself. I think that there began to be a thirst for international products. So we started to see the advent of foreign soaps. We started to see the advent of, in some cases, foreign television, talk shows, of course, their own content, from the dramas to the movies to the sitcoms and those sort of things. I have seen, however, as we especially in the last 2.5 years, I have seen that there's a thirst again almost for television that looks and sounds like us. I can tell it from my perspective, and of course TTT, where you would have started your career, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course, yeah, back in the day, for sure.
Yeah, but we have, I have given the board at TTT a mandate that TTT must be able to show excellence to this nation that looks and sounds like them, and in particular young people. So you know, there's almost a renaissance, I think, of local content being developed, local content wanting to be consumed. People want to see themselves, you know, they want to see themselves. Freetown Collective say it.
Yeah,
I want to see me on my TV.
Yeah, because as I said earlier, before the break, before the intro, I actually started my career on a local TV show, Party Time, back in 1997. That was my intro into media, television, then radio, 98.9. So that was
it with Lisa?
Yeah, with Lisa and Wendell Constantine, and O'Brien Haynes, and Just Chase, and the whole works. I want to find out, though, as we see the young people, you know, consuming lots of their content on the device called the cell phone.
Yeah.
Right? My son, I'm sure your kids too, you know, they're watching everything here. Do you think TV, what do you think is the future for television? I mean, obviously, when they come into our particular age, into our seat, would television still be relevant based on projection? And I know you would obviously have some of the data and you look at literature across the world. What's your take on where does television go from here?
I think that we're in interesting times. I think that television as an industry globally for decades really saw themselves as the start and the end of the entire, I suppose, the supply chain, you would want to call that. You know, but television now has to become, the medium, I mean, has to become an arsenal, a tool in your arsenal, right? It has to be part of your offering. And where you see that is really, I suppose, based on your own model, your own community, your own circumstances. We still have communities that, whether they are, I suppose, remote, they are not rural communities where you don't necessarily have a lot of social media being, not social media, a lot of content being consumed on social media, on a digital platform. There is still room for television. And I think that television has to continue playing a serious role in, I suppose, informing communities, informing nations, informing people. But it is no longer the be-all and end-all. All television stations, this one, and all your partners in the industry have had to move to social media platforms in order to widen the net. Same thing for papers. All the major newspapers are all also available digitally to be consumed on your phone as well.
That's right.
But television is, I suppose, more as it evolves, it's not only a physical thing, it's a concept.
Yeah. And it's also a chance.
Concept of thing.
And it's a chance to bond to her. I mean, World Cup literally days away. Listen, it's one thing to consume the World Cup on your phone. You could do that, but it's different when you're in front of TV with friends, watching the game, you're on a couch.
Correct.
You have the bears, you have your partners. Correct. It's a memory, it's an experience. What plans are in place?
I suppose in some ways, Jason put it that it is almost like the fireside.
That's right.
You know, it is where everybody gathers around this sort of communal sharing. So it does, you're very correct.
It's almost like digital fireside. You know?
Correct. But screens put you in this little space here.
Yeah.
As opposed to television, which is all-encompassing and allows you to share this experience with friends and loved ones.
Minister, we just about a minute again before I take the break and wrap things up. Any plans in place for Monday? Any closing remarks?
In terms of plans, yes, the is going to educational program to just educate people on on World Television Day, the importance of television itself. Of course, this is the first interview that I would have done on World Television Day, and I will be doing others on other stations. In terms of my closing remarks, I just want to continue my call to local television stations to continue using Medium for positive output, to look at local content, continue to find spaces for local content, because we have generations that are growing up that need to see excellence, that looks and sounds like them.
Yeah.
CNC3 continue doing good work. JW, blessings as always. You continue doing good work as well.
I thought you might have given us the Oprah impact. You get a TV. Trinidad, you get a TV. That's Pelto TV. Samsung, Sony.
I'll make a request in media to the Minister of Finance.
Yes. Probably next year. We'll see what's happening. All the best, Minister. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, and congrats in advance.
All right, man.
That's right. That's one of the communication ministers in the recent times who would have made himself accessible, always on the ball. Symon de Nobriga, Minister of Communications. We come back with the founder of the John E. Sapka Foundation for Pancreatic Cancer, Natalie Sapka. She joins us next to talk about Pancreatic Awareness Month. Full details after the break.